morning and welcome to the commencement exercises for the Eastern Hancock High School class of 2022. On behalf of the senior class, I'd like to thank families, friends, community, faculty, and the Board of School Trustees for being here to share this special occasion. At this time, I invite you to stand as the Royal Singers, under the direction of Miss Ashley Van Dyne, will sing our national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated. The senior class has chosen to have Lexi Knight give our invocation today. Lexi is the daughter of Scott and Tricia Knight. She plans to attend Samford University and study nursing.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this special day. We are so grateful for this success and the people here celebrating this big day in our lives. Thank you for helping us to grow and learn to reach this great accomplishment, and everyone who helped us along the way to graduation. We thank you for being so good and helping us to get to this point in our lives. Be with these graduates as we go out into the world and discover who we are and who we are meant to be in it. May you fill us with hope for the future and guide our past fill it with many and new adventures. Amen.
Thank you, Lexi. The class of 2022 senior slideshow that you watched as you were coming in today was designed and created by Sydney James of the student media class, with additional photo collection assistance by Megan Rutherford and Mackenzie Sharp. You will notice our seniors are wearing a variety of colors of honor cords and medallions with their caps and gowns today. These represent many of the honors they have achieved. Please refer to your program for an explanation of what each color of cord and medallion designates. At this time, I would like the members of the class of 2022 who will be joining the armed services of the United States to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. This year at Eastern Hancock, we have been participating in a strategic planning process to build a profile of what an Eastern Hancock graduate should look like. We've had a number of meetings with staff, community, and local business leaders to discuss what we expect of each student who receives a diploma from Eastern Hancock schools. The class of 2022 embodies everything we expect and everything we hope for out of our students in the future. Our 4 goals or pillars of a profile of a graduate are joy, connection, growth, and success. The first pillar is joy. And if you've spent any time around this senior class the last few weeks, you've heard a number of those remember when stories. These are fun and memorable moments that serve very meaningful purposes for us. They help instill a love for learning that will last a lifetime, and they strengthen the personal connections that bind us together at Eastern Hancock. The second pillar is connection. At Eastern Hancock, we are known as a small rural school, and the most common word that is used to describe us is a family. We embrace the opportunity to develop relationships with our students and believe those relationships are essential for high levels of student achievement. The third pillar is growth. In our conversations over the last few months, we've discussed that growth comes in many, many forms. Parents, you may be sitting here today thinking of that little kid in front of you on that first day of school waiting to get on the school bus. As educators, we see those students in front of us who have overcome obstacles and persevered through the struggles over the last few years to be prepared for their future. The fourth pillar in our profile of graduate is success. We know success comes in many different forms as well. Academically, this class of 2022 finished with 1,017 college credits, which would be equivalent to about 68 college semesters that they have already accomplished before they walk across the stage. The class of 2022 finished with 31 industry recognized certifications. This means our students have been trained in a specialized technical field and have passed a rigorous exam created by professionals in that industry. So that puts us at about 70% of this class has finished their senior year with either a college credit or an industry certified recognition to help start them on their path for their future. Class of 2022, with all of those numbers, you are also the coolest class in Eastern Hancock history, as this is our first graduation with air conditioning in this gymnasium. This is where you clap. Yes. You made it to graduation day. Congratulations. The faculty address to the class of 22 will be delivered by Mrs. Teresa Bever. Mrs. Bever is retiring this year after 36 years in the math department at Eastern Hancock. We thank Mrs. Bever for her dedication to the students of Eastern Hancock, and I'm looking forward to her words of wisdom for the class of 22.
So if you have walked past room 404 in the past 5 years, you saw a sign outside my door that said, all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. I know it's not much of a surprise that my speech is centered around Walt Disney, because I leave for a Disney cruise in 3 weeks. Retirement's going to be pretty good, okay? Today is certainly a dream come true. You're graduating. I'm retiring. Once we walk out those doors, we are free to pursue all the paths that are ahead of us. But today is just one dream come true. In 1971, Walt Disney had the courage to turn a swamp into a multi-million-dollar business. Many people said he was crazy, but his dream came true. Don't be afraid to dream big. In 1986, a 22-year-old fresh out of college signed a teaching contract with a small school in the middle of cornfields in Charlottesville, Indiana. Mr. Barton was there, he can tell you. Some of you in the stands are probably there too. The last 36 years teaching here and serving the community have been a dream come true for me. But right now I want to talk about your dreams and the courage that you have gained over the past 13 years. Don't worry, as my favorite character, Winnie the Pooh, tells us, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Just think about what we got through the last 2 years alone. If I can teach remotely and not screw up technology too much, you guys can do about anything you want. Okay. it's entirely possible that sitting out in front of us today is the future CEO or president of a Fortune 500 company. Have the courage and strength to reach for the stars. According to Pooh Bear, a day without a friend is like a pot without a single drop of honey inside. Can you imagine Pooh without any honey? But what would be like without friends? Please remember, though, to have a friend, one must be a friend. I want to thank a dear friend of mine for helping me decide to throw out my already written and memorized speech just 3 days ago to start this one that's certainly more me. So be the most loyal friend you can be, and your honey pot will always be full. Pooh once told Piglet, when all else fails, take a nap. Isn't it funny how in kindergarten and preschool, when they told us we had to take a nap, you didn't want to? But how many of you would have loved the opportunity to take a nap in geometry 2 years ago, right? If I'd said, let's take a nap, right? Okay. Well, guess what? I'm retiring. I can take naps whenever I want. You'll get there someday, okay? But we learned so much in elementary school that we need to remember. We learned how to treat people with kindness and respect, but we also learned that to get respect, we must give respect. We learned not to limit our vision to the 8 crayons in the box, but we willing to explore all 64. Don't be afraid to explore new things. I get to leave today and continue my adventures in vacation planning, but I'm also starting my new part-time job with Fuse, helping families and individuals with disabilities. So even though I've spent the last 3.5 decades exploring a few of those colors in the box of 64, there are still more for me to try out. Try new adventures. Weeds are flowers too, once you get to know them. Pooh's certainly a smart bear, isn't he? Take the time to get to know other people. Don't judge them by first impressions or outward appearances. People aren't always what they seem, both good and bad. Each of us, regardless of our background, have something we can give, and sometimes those that have given us the most have come from the least. So many people ask me why I go to Disney all the time. I think the main reason is it keeps me young. And when you teach middle schoolers and high schoolers, staying young is certainly helpful. Don't forget to stay young. Pooh tells us when life throws you a rainy day, play in the puddles. So go out and play in those puddles. Enjoy life. Stay young at heart no matter what you do or how old you are. Find your Disney that keeps you young. I know people say that you are entering the adult world now. Well, I've known most of you since you are 12, and I can tell them that most of you are not adults, no matter how old you are. But that's okay, because Walt Disney says that's the trouble with the world. Too many people grow up. I'm honored to have had this opportunity to speak to you today, even though I tried to back out last week and earlier today. But I realized, like Pooh says, any day spent with you is my favorite day. So today is my new favorite day. So the door to room 404 no longer has the quote outside of it. But you aren't going to be there to see it anyway. How lucky are we to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard? Class of 2022, my last babies, I'll love you forever. Always have the courage and strength to look for new adventures. Be the most loyal friend you can, and never grow up. After all, like Peter Pan tells us, all you need is faith, trust, and a little pixie dust. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bever. That was perfect. The salutatorian of the class of 2022 is Gracie Beaudry. Gracie is the daughter of Joshua and Jessica Beaudry. She will be attending Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology and majoring in biomedical engineering.
Good morning, administrators, educators, friends, family, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2022. Today we'll hold an extraordinary event that we have all been waiting for longer than we can remember. It is amazing to think that we have completed this roller coaster of a journey together. Whether I met you for the first time 12 years ago, when our backpacks were bigger than ourselves and recess was the best time of day, or you've joined our journey along the way, we have seen each other grow and evolve into the people we are today. If you have attended Eastern Hancock since you were in kindergarten, we have spent approximately 15,120 hours in the same building. That's a lot. We have seen each other succeed, fail, learn, and develop who we truly are during this time we've spent together. A lot of these times are times we've spent laughing together, making jokes, and acing tests, but we've also had our fair share of struggles. If the stresses of AP exams, always approaching deadlines, and raising gas prices weren't enough, we had to deal with the grief of losing people who were very special to our school and community. We had to do all this while still maintaining our grades, athletics, and social lives. But through the tears and the heartache, our class grew into something truly special. I did not fully realize this until last week while I was having a conversation with Mrs. Reynolds. I was in her office complaining about giving this speech, and she said something to me that is worth sharing to you. I said I have no idea what to say to you all, that I hate public speaking, and the thought of giving this speech was daunting. Then she said something along the lines of, "It doesn't matter what you say. You have the most supportive group I've ever seen." I sat there and I pondered that for a moment, but then she continued. She said, "At senior awards night, there was not a single award given without applause. You guys were hooping and hollering for every person, and you even gave a standing ovation." She is right. Our class is the most supportive. Every time I've ever needed help, there was always someone willing to be there. The class of 2022 will not be known for our grades, our mountain of college credits, or our abundance of athletic titles. Our legacy is our relationship to each other, our ability to laugh endlessly, and our perseverance when the times got tough. We will not be known for our accomplishments, but for the people we have become. At this point, I would like to conclude my speech by giving a series of thank yous. Thank you, parents, for raising good humans. Thank you, educators, for teaching us about the world and all the wonders it has to offer. Thank you, administrators, for keeping us in line and allowing us to strive for our full potential. And lastly, thank you, graduating seniors of the class of 2022, for being the most supportive class anyone could ask for. I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors, and congratulations.
Thank you, Gracie. The Eastern Hancock Wind Ensemble, under the direction of Mr. Adam Eaton, has prepared a number for today. Please enjoy hymn song variants. The valedictorian of the Eastern Hancock class of 2022 is Luke McCartney. Luke is the son of Patrick and Lace McCartney and will attend Purdue University and major in computer engineering.
Good afternoon, class of 2022. It is an amazing honor to be speaking to you today. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this speech is going to change anyone's life, but I want this speech to help you understand how far all of you have gone during these past 4 years. Principal Barton, faculty members, family, friends, and especially fellow graduates, today is a day to be thankful and proud. Today we celebrate our last 4 years, and frankly, it was an extremely bumpy ride. As a class, we experienced loss, confusion, and disorientation on a scale like none other. These past 4 years contained the beginning and the acceptance of a deadly world pandemic, which made high school a lot different than what we figured. Joining class virtually, social distancing, wearing masks, and being separated from one another were things unheard of during our freshman year. But then the pandemic began. The class of 22's ability to adapt and persevere was tested, and really, you should all be extremely proud of yourselves for making it here today. By being here today, all of you collectively demonstrate the highest amount of perseverance that I've ever seen in a class. You went through pain. You went through loneliness. You went through the most difficult 4 years in a long time, and yet all of you are still here. Despite everything that went wrong, you all pushed through these past 4 years and showed your strength. And you're still going. You're still continuing forward in life after it all. Now, someone that highly demonstrates this strength and perseverance that I believe deserves to get recognized is Cassidy Cowell. Despite a devastating brain injury and a bad prognosis, she still stands here today after fighting through a long recovery, ready to begin the next phase of her life as an inspiration to us all. The perseverance and resilience that Cassidy demonstrates, the same that you all have demonstrated, proves that you will all achieve amazing things in your future. After this summer, we're not going to all do the same thing. Some of us are going to college, some of us are going to a trade school, and some of us are going into the military. Regardless of where you find yourself in the near future, always remember the strength that you showed during your time here at Eastern Hancock. If you find yourself struggling, remember how you were able to adapt to these difficult times in high school. If you were able to get through tough times as a high schooler, you can easily handle whatever gets in your way. When you reflect on high school, remember that strength of yours, but also remember the strength that others have demonstrated. Remember our teachers and how they guided us through these tough times. Remember how our parents had to adapt as well. And most importantly, remember those who we've lost along the way. It's not been an easy 4 years, but memories kept alive are experiences and people kept alive. At the end of the day, you should all be proud of how far you've come. Now, thank you. I wish all of you a great summer and good luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Luke. Mr. Cody Hibbert, teacher at Eastern Hancock High School and Middle School, was chosen by the senior class to read names of the graduates in the class of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to pass out some diplomas. Front row, please rise.
Garrett Zachary Adams. Benjamin Keith Adkins. Liani Isabel Anino. Zachary Ephraim Arnold. Evan Parker Arthur. Elijah Back. Gracie Joanne Beaudry. Griffin Scott Brown. Cyrus Andrew Burton. Nathaniel Stephen Cape. Landon Nicholas Carter. Michaela Marie Collins. Caroline Elizabeth Grace Coomer. Cassidy Cowell. Hayden M. Craney. Brandon Eugene Cross. Charles Jaden Cross. Ryan Douglas Dagley. Carter Dean Dishman. Abigail Irene Ebert. Lucan Dean Edwards. Lucas Cole Elliott. Julia Michelle Fawcett. Inez Victoria Friddle. Sarah Grace Gibson. Caitlin Taylor Gillum. Cadence Gilliam. Olivia Grace Hancock. Logan Harmon. Madeline Marie Harris. Reed Davis Hedrick. Nash Merrill Hensley. Lillianne May Hunt. Devin Allen Inman. Shelby Jean Jackson. Sydney Bassett Janes. Caroline C. Jones. Samuel Edward Wilson Kessler. Kylie Renee Kingen. Devin Kingma. Alexandra Corrine Knight. Matthew Thomas Lehman. Kendall Lee Leonard. Isaac Christopher Lewis. Annie Ray Lindsay. Austin Michael Linton. Cadence Carlene Louder. Serena Marie Masters. Lex Maximus Orion Maynard. Luke McCartney. Brennan Isaac McCorkle. Matthew James McDaniel. Chase Morrow. Logan Edward Moss. Jackson Hubert Murphy. Caden Shane Nation. Landon Charles O'Neill. Olivia Michelle Pastrick. Trinity Rain Payton. Taylor Phipps. Jordan Lynn Plank. Nicholas Allen Potts. Cole Wesley Rainbolt. Abigail Marie Redmond. Megan Elizabeth Rutherford. Chase Carson Riggs. Vanessa Elizabeth Saavedra. Christopher Paul Scott. Cassie Mae Sexton. Mackenzie Page Sharp. Teresa Marie Short. Amanda E. Shepard. Andrew G. Smith. Ashton Alex Smith. Gabrielle Justine Smith. Marley Joe Smith. Paige Olivia Spiegel. Wyatt Tyler Sutton. Houston Swan. Brianna Elaine Talby. Audrey Ann Tice. Terrence Dale Vest. Becca Kaylee Wallen. Anna Louise White. Abigail Rose Willard. Ashton Willis. Jada Wills.
Give one more round of applause for the class of 2022. Dr. Philhauer and the Board of School Trustees, I certify that these students have met all state and local requirements for graduation. Will the class of 2022 please rise? And Kylie King and come to the front.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. As superintendent, let's try that again. As superintendent of the Community School Corporation of Eastern Hancock County, through the authority of the Eastern Hancock County Board of School Trustees in the state of Indiana, I hereby declare you graduates of Eastern Hancock High School.
Yes.